done it. Nick Matthews has had a massive result here. Oh, what a finish! Listen to that roar! He was under the cosh, managed to reset the rally with the lob, and then the drop. Classic tactical play.
I think we're gonna miss a great athlete on tour when he's gone after this season. The kind of squash he played, was different. It looked simple outside the court. You understand it when you play against him. The kind of pressure that he puts you in and puts you under. The mental fatigue you get with him is he made players on courts want to give up when they are playing him. While when you play with Shabana, he's gonna beat you with his talent, for example. When you play with Rami, they'll beat you with their talent, Nick is gonna make you give up against him.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. Matthew leaping off the ground.
On court, he's the kind of person who never gives up. That's why he's been so strong mentally. He's very, tough to break down. Physically, he's always been a machine, I would say. He worked so hard. He was very disciplined in every areas, of the performance and of his work that made him so accurate, in everything, and that's what makes her a real champion at the end of the day,
Matthew's done it. Nick Matthew kept his World Championship crown.
Nick just brings this, he's always brought a ferocity to the court. You're up against the brick wall, really, in terms of mentally incredibly strong. An incredible competitor. I mean, I can't really say how tough sometimes it was to go up against him, but it was very, very, the brick wall analogy is probably about right, because it was just very hard to break through that.
There it is. The Saudi 2010 World Open.
No one nickname suits someone better than the Wolf with Nick. I think you're on court and you can just feel how ferocious he is, and he's not, he's not going to give you an inch. His physical presence is always there. There's a mental presence as well. He'll do everything he can to win within the rules, and you can just feel that when you're on court with him, whether it's a PSA match or a training match. He always brings that intensity, and it can be tough to deal with, tough to play against, and that's why he's achieved so much, I think.
He's done it. Matthew's done it. Nick Matthews has taken his 35th title.
Nick has been one of the legends of the game, probably aside from the Egyptians. He's definitely the one who's inspired me the most. His work ethic and the way he approaches the game on and off the court is second to none, and for me, I've learned so much from him, from his professionalism, from his I don't know what the word is, his guts and his attitude on and off the court. It's something that I've always admired, I've always looked up to, and to have shared the court with him more than once is such an honor for me.
Matthew's done it. One more thrower. Gives Nick Matthews his third World Championship title in his own backyard. What an epic battle between the old rivalry of England-France. The crowd all on their feet here at Manchester Central. Standing ovation.
When you think Nick Matthew, you just think determination, professionalism, spirit, everything that goes with being a champion, I think, and that will to win. And he embodies what squash is: hard work, physical, massive amount of skill, someone who you know, has brought a lot to the game, and I think will continue to bring a lot to the game after he's retired.
Nick is just an incredible athlete. He's very strong mentally and physically. You would hear his breath, the back of your ears. You'd hear it's not just a normal kind of breath. It's the kind of breath that talks, that says that, you know, I'm gonna like kill myself until the last point.
You know, you get players who start the tournament very, very well, but they don't end it as well. Nick was the kind of player who doesn't start very well, but knows how to end it very well. I played a lot of finals, but I played Nick. My finals with Nick were really tough to play, because the hardest match to play Nick was the final always, because that's when he steps it up the most.
You watch the guy, don't you, and you see how to be dogged and determined and relentless. He was probably about as good as it gets in terms of pushing to those physical lengths and fighting through horrible physical pain. So no question, it certainly pushed me and inspired me, you know, like many players. I think a lot of people, when they talk about our rivalry, they remember that match at Canary Wharf. But for me, if I was to look back on what he's done, what he did the day after there went criminally unnoticed, because he came out after that ridiculous match we had on the Thursday night or whenever it was in the semis. He actually came out the next day and managed to beat Gregory Gaultier. You're talking about someone playing one of the greatest matches of his and my career. I mean, that 2 hours 15 or whatever it was, you can't play many of them. You've run your marathon, not just running, but doing all these lunges and twists and turns. You've brutalised your body. To think that you can come out and do that the next day, I look back at that and just think that is a monumental physical thing, and practically nobody mentioned it. That for me was really quite sad. People will remember the match that we had, and they always talk about it, but it was the actual thing that he managed to do the next day, which, and if anything, epitomises what he's done.
And of course, sometimes on the court there was like some tough battle, you know, some tough moments, you know, but you know, sometimes that's how it is. But at the end of the day, you know, whenever we cross the line, you know, we always, you know, talk to each other and apologize, of course, if we went too far, and that's we have very big respect, you know, and nowadays, you know, we're both, you know, the oldest. I'm not the oldest, but I'm one of the oldest, of course, with Nick on the tour, and we respect the fact that, you know, we've been pushing, you know, each other and trying to compete against all these young men, you know, now, and manage to still grab some wins against all these young Egyptians or other nationalities, you know. So that's what we have also as respect, you know, to each other, you know, on top of the friendship we have for a long time, you know.
I was lucky enough that I was 11, 12 years younger than him, that my physicality a lot of times in the matches actually prevailed, you know. But I would have loved to have him the same age as me, because I think both of us would have improved each other mentally even more.
He's got such a love for the game that he's certainly going to be around it and involved with it, and that can only be good for the game and for those that are still involved with him.
And I really wish him all the best for the rest of his career, and I'm sure he's going to be a great ambassador for the sport in the future, and with his academy and everything he's doing around that. It's
not an easy thing to do, to step away from the sport, particularly when you've been so well loved and so successful as he has. And you know, I know he's got several visions and plans going on for the future, and he's a huge family man and extremely sensitive deep down, and I know that he wants to help and have a really successful transition, and it's not an easy thing to do. And I think, you know, with the person that he is, I think he can have a really good transition, and I just want him to make sure that he gets the happiness and success that he deserves.
I hope, you know, his future is going to be as bright as the career that he had, you know.
Deserves all the plaudits he gets, and I'll be you know, I don't think I'll be worried about not having to build up to one of those matches anymore. Put it that way, because I'm a bit softer than him. But you know, happy retirement really, and you know, he's going to get a good send off here in Hull for the British Open, whatever happens. So.